tonight. So yeah, okay. So welcome on board, everyone. We would like to welcome you in our discussions on Saturday night, and the discussion under the motion or under the title "Rethinking Post-Colonialism and its Implications." And for these beautiful occasions, we are going to be guided and moderated by our sister Binti Aisha and with me as the host. So feel free to pour out your opinions or your ideas. Let's try to engage actively in this beautiful occasion. So guys, first and first, I'd like to read for you some rules of the discussion. First, I would like you guys to mute your microphone and you are not able to give your statement if the moderator doesn't allow you to speak up. And the third one is that focus on the topic of discussions. Try to not extend the discussions to it something that's not actually the essentials of the discussion. And then the hosts are capable of cutting the statement if they notice you jump overboard or out of topics. And if they think that you sufficiently deliver your opinions, they can also cut you. And it is encouraged for you to be active in the discussion because it's like a weekly activity. It's only happen once in a week. So let's try to use this moment as good as possible. And last but not least, I would like to see you guys have a simulation. Raise your hands so that I can see that you're actually live right now. Okay, guys, come on. Please raise your hand. Just let me give you an example. Okay, guys, please raise your hand. Okay, I see not everyone. Okay, Mr. Priyo, Ane, Anissa, Binti, Eka, Fitri, Imran Khan. Come on, please raise your hand. Let me look your hand. Okay. Okay. Even though it's not enough, I consider it enough. Okay. Well, so without waiting so long, let's welcome our moderator tonight, and Mrs. Binti. Miss Binti, the floor is yours.
Yes, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. Uh, is my voice can be listened clearly from your area, guys?
It's not really clear. Maybe you can, what's that? Closer your microphone.
Do I have to make my voice louder?
Yes, yes. Really, yes.
Right now, it's clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much, guys, for this great opportunity. Actually, this is my first time become a moderator in OTA English discussion, and it's about the regulation. I think the host already mentioned about the points of the regulation, so I don't need to mention the regulation. Um, as long as you want to uh, explain your argument, I think you can raise your hand after I let you to explain your opinion. Okay. Today's topic is about post-colonialism and its implications. I will give you some overview before. I think you have think you, okay, I think you have um, experience or theories or historical background that you know understand about the post-colonialism itself. So tonight you can share your ideas. Mr. Sunny, please next to the next go to the next slide. This is really hard. Okay. I think we don't need to explain this. Go to the next slide, please. I think you cannot. Okay, thank you. Talk about the post-colonialism. We cannot separate with another terms, which is imperialism and colonialism. The imperialism is the concept of how a certain or a particular countries can extend their areas because they want to uh, get the natural resources or they want to get more commodities that they want to make their own nations wealthier. And another one is colonialism. If the imperialism is the concept, so the colonialism is the practice of how a nation can conquer uh, civilization. If you go to the colonialism, some aspects that we concerned about also it can so another country means you are sub this
Is she lost?
Seems like we lost her for a moment. That's right. Yeah, probably because she told me before that if that happens, it rained at her home, and that's why she tried to, uh, uh, you know, warn us that the signal will be quite bad. That's why we need to be ready for this. So while waiting for her, I'd like to also encourage you to keep questioning about the theme or the topic we have. So we're talking about post-colonialism. So it's something related to decolonization or something related to imperialism. Yeah. So the concept of imperialism and colonialism is quite different at one point. Imperialism, it means you try to emphasize two two primary goals. The first is glory and good. Yeah. But colonialism means that you want to expand the authority, the territorial you have within your country. Okay, so there is a quite different gap, yeah, distinguishing between imperialism and colonialism. They have a different purpose, even though at one point they they mean the same movement. They want to attack other country to gain some benefits. So let's try to cast this about decolonization. So guys, I would like to ask you, what do you think about decolonizations? Did you ever hear this kind of term before? Okay. Any
Can I speak, Mr. Sunny? I couldn't raise my hand. I'm host.
Yes, the floor is yours, Mr. Raji. Please.
Okay. Okay. I have an interesting idea today that colonialism still exists even in modern era. For example, when a country using dollar, they have been colonized because whatever the condition is, the US dollar will never going out from the account balance sheet. Yeah, for example, when you're China or Japan that have I mean surplus of trade, for example, you will hold the dollar in your balance sheet. But the fact is, you couldn't able to drain up all of the dollars that you have reserved, except you should import some goods and services from the U.S. itself. So when the U.S., for example, increasing the tax to the export, you will hold something that is worthless forever. Or in the same case, when you are the debitors of US dollar, like Indonesia and a lot of developing countries, uh, when you have debt, it means you should pay it more and more because you should pay the principal and the interest. So, for example, when the US, like today, doing the trade war, restricts their own imports, doesn't want to be the buyer of last resort, it means US will not float the money to the rest of the world. So it is harder for us to obtain dollar, right? So we will get when US doesn't want to import more, so the fact we will be permanently forever in indebtedness. Except we can we can pay our debt through obtaining more debt. That's the biggest problem here because, for instance, in Indonesia, 30% of our government spending just goes to pay the debts. That's a problem. Only there's the first priority of our budget. The second is education, 20%, and so on and so forth. So it is biggest problem here. We still being colonized by the U.S. imperialism. U.S. Does deficit or surplus in their current account, it doesn't matter for them. But for us, when we try to do the deficit in our current account, it'll cause the detrimental effect to our country because, for example, the interest rate will be go down, will be slumping, and the rates of the debt will be higher. So it is like forever trap in our country today. So the only thing that we should pay to US is doing, privatizing in all of our public infrastructures. And the fact is, like austerity measures that have been imposed to our country is causing by our failure strategy to managing our country. Maybe that's my little opinion, Mr. Sani. Thank you. And now Ms. Binti is coming here again.
So,
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, to proceed with the presentation. Floor is yours.
okay, okay, thank you so much. For the for the neocolonialism, we have to put uh, neocolonialism. It's not neocolonialist. It's also the terms that impacted by post-colonialism. It's on or also related with the post-colonialism, but it's in different perspective. Like the economy, also the hegemony, like the control by using the cultural or economic, but from remote places, like for example, Indonesia, controlled by soft power of the superpower country in this world, or the China or the America, because we are influenced by the culture of the America or China, because China wants to invest, like, yeah. Okay, next, for the next slide. So this is a quote that I taken from the book Writing. In Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, people struggled against the politicians and administrators of European powers that ruled empires of the colonies uh, who had settled their world. Okay, next slide. Talk about the post-colonialism. Uh, we cannot separate from the action of the action from the Turkey Osmani in 1453, where Turkey Osmani conquered the place of Mediterranean, because the Mediterranean Sea is a big road where the Asian and the European wants to transfer their commodities. Okay, next, please. In 1492, uh, because of the Mediterranean Sea was conquered by the Turkey Osmani. This place also the Christopher Columbus, a traveler that was uh, ordered by the King Ferdinand and Queen Isabel. Queen Isabel tried to uh, next. Go slow and until empire, the largest or the widest or the extensive place of area of the world with the empire, with its empire that and with 53 countries become the join of the Commonwealth nations. Even though some of the countries, some of them some of them are colonized, but another are not. Okay, next. This is an example of how the way people uh, see the white person in when they explain their argument. For example, this is I think this is only a piece of example. Then his name is Tom Nicholas. He is a YouTuber. I thought he is from British because his accent if you look at picture, just say if colonialism ended, we, the rest of the world, know better. I think agree with the statement. It's also represented. It's also because it represents British themselves. But the Tom Nicholas here talk about the post-colonialism, which is post-colonialism is started by um, the East, like previous years ago. Uh, several years ago, Edward Said and another Franz Fanon, they explain about, they invent or they initiate about the post-colonialism. And the second one, Eduardo Torres said that I'm studying politics, science in Venezuela with these videos. I'm getting A plus in critical perspective. Thank you, big-headed white man. This is kind like sneering or uh, prejudicing, bad prejudicing or negative thinking toward a man. Like you have a resistance because you in the past have been colonized by his uh, his older generation. But here in the last comments, someone said, a woman said from India that uh, she said that it's positive thing. Okay, next. I think the Indian women, like, yeah, forget about the colonialism, and try to open the mind or try to left the history in the past. Okay, I will elicit the first question. Here is, according to your previous readings, your past experience or your preceded observation, what's your thought about post-colonialism? Please raise your hand. You are an Indian. Oh, Pakistan. Your hands to explain your arguments.
Oh yeah,
Or
brother Imran Khan. Okay, yeah,
The
Imran
floor
Khan.
is yours.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, Mr. Prime Minister, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you guys hear me? I can't hear
Yeah,
anybody
perfectly.
else.
We can hear you. Okay, you audible.
Okay, see, so today we are talking about like colonism. Colonism is like some topic from political science, and I'm not a big a fan of politics. I don't like to discuss politics, even though, and these days it's going demo in Jakarta. That's also kind of politics thing. Okay, so coming to the like colonialism or post-colonialism, I think post-colonialism is means like whatever happened to the country after the British or American or Dutch, whoever were ruling on the country they left. So whatever happened to the country, I guess that's the part of post-colonialism, whatever you guys say that. Okay, and like in India, we were ruled by British. Like us, they came to us as for the trading for the business as part of East India Company that was that Miss Binti was showing in the slide before. So they came as part of East India Company to do business in India, and slowly they got into the power, and they even like killed some Mughal emperor. They killed the Mughal emperor, and they forced the farmers in India to grow opium like ganja. Forced the farmers to grow opium, and we had a long struggle with that with them. And after they left in 1947, 14th August 1947, India got independence from British, and but still we were following British laws. until 1950. In the 1950, India got its own what you say constitution. So they made own constitution, own rule, but still, as I feel like mentally we are still colonized, whatever you say. Itu kosakata itu susah. Okay, I mean, see, if you, for example, let's come to general thing. Most of the Indians are brown. Naturally, our skin is brown. Because in British ruled on us and they were mostly white, so still in Indian people believe if you are white, if you are puti, you are beautiful, and if you are brown, you are ugly. Still, in fact, when most of the Indians are brown, so we should be proud of our brown body and brown face. But because of the British rule, because of the British mentality, we still believe that like being brown is bad. And second, like Mr. Somebody was talking about the dollar, and also even in India, when like mostly for crude oil or many business and other countries export oil, and we deal in the dollar because the value of Indian rupees is not much in Indian market. So we also trade in dollar, and when the price of dollar gets high, the value of crude oil also expensive, and then we buy expensive oil, and because of the oil, everything like transportation, food, everything gets in expensive. Like when I went to Indonesia in last year, the value of $1 was 67 rupees Indian, 67 Indian, and now it is like 76 Indian. Like $1 is 76 Indian. It's so much expensive. I mean, maybe in Indonesia it's like 16,000 or 17,000 now. Like in Indonesia, you have traditional dress, batik, or every every region have different traditional dress. Even in India, we had like sari, salwar, suit. But because of the foreign mentality, people like, oh, if you're wearing tradition, it's not cool. Wear skirts, wear jeans, it's cool. So even we are decolonized, we got relief from them, but still they rule our mind. Our mind is still occupied by American, their mentality. We like to watch their shows, we like to eat like them using spoon or knife like that. Like mostly Indian used to eat with hand, but now because of western influence, we eat with the spoon or something like that. And another basic thing, like Indian toilet is different. If you see the Indian toilet, it's different. In the Indian toilet you can squat, like you, there's no pad like that. Scott, so, like, scientifically it is better. Easy to make pressure and easy to poop. But because of the Western influence, or most of the people got Western toilet and all. So that's, I feel, even though we got decolonized, the British left us, but still our mind, we want to adapt their culture. We want to earn in dollars. Everybody dreams to earning in dollar. Like them, like in India, if you speak, no matter how educated you are, if you not if you cannot speak English, people will think kamu bodoh, you're stupid or uneducated. And if you speak English, even you are dumb, you know nothing about anything, just you speak English, people will think, oh, you smart, you speak English. So they're still ruling our mind like that. So they still colonize us mentally, even though we are brown. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Imran, for your explanation. Thank you for sharing your uh, experience regarding to your own countries. After Mr. Imran, perhaps another, I give chance or opportunity for another
Or coolest. Come on, show up.
anyone can give me a really about post-colonialism? Thank you.
Anyone perhaps wants to help me to explain, simplify the terms of post-colonialism?
Let me try to be the ones to simplify things, okay? In my viewpoints, post-colonialism means that we how we judge others, how we think, how our look feel about everything that surrounds us and saturate becomes a matter of discussion in post-colonialism. So we try to relate um, something that we see as a habit, as a justification to our attitude, as it can become a reflection of how it can also happen in the past when our nation still being colonized by others. So probably that's quite brief.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sani, for the explanation. Perhaps we can go to Mr. Hendro Priyono. Do you still need clearance again regarding to the definition, or we go to the next question?
I'm so sorry. I don't want to. I don't want to look down on who's that, Mr. Sunny, but actually I couldn't hear that clearly because yeah, your voice quite noisy there. So because I didn't see that at all. Thank you very much. Or perhaps Mr. Aji or Mr. Indrawano. I'm so sorry, Mr. Sunny. I just can't hear you. I couldn't hear you clearly.
Get I.
Okay.
Oh, I'm doing the laundry.
Is it my floor? Oh, sorry, my connection is a bit unstable.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Adi.
The sign that the country has been colonized in modern world is when a country has foreign denominated debt. Um, when we look at the example, we don't need actually to have foreign debt, except when you're giving up your sovereignty of your currency, like EU members. There is time to be fair, of course. Looking at Indonesia, the sense of the colonization is when you look at the definition of money in central banks, money is something to interchangeable of goods and services. I mean, intermediaries is not tax credit. There's not a good definition how we can define money. So impact of that understanding is when the policymakers thinking about government is same like a household. They think that we should obtain a debt in order to spend. So it is the sin of the colonization in today. The definition of post-colonialism is kind of blurred, what we define today. In fact, even China or other developed countries, they are still doing the mercantilism. I mean, a paradigm shift that we can obtain a good benefit when we import than when we export more, sorry, than our imports. Still mercantilism. Exploiting the third world, like in African countries, to grabbing or privatizing the public infrastructures to put the influence strongly there is still same. We are still in the quote colonialism era. That's a pure definition of post-colonialism. And also, what I want to say actually, other than that, we know that a lot of industries, fashion industries, actually colonizing the cheap labor in, I can say India, of course, in some country like Bangladesh. It is part of the colonialism era, and also the austerity policy is the same. It's just colonizing or sucking up the wealth from the majority, the 1% of population. It's the same called colonialism. There's no justice still here, so we should repair our understanding or description of the post-colonialism itself, because we are still living in the oppression way. So we should do something radical to change all of the euphemisms in all of the economic vocabularies today and political words today. So maybe that's my short opinion. Despite I get some trouble with my signal, I couldn't able to hear Mr. Hendro. Maybe Mr. Hendro will give once again of his statement later. Thank you so much.
Mr. Aji, for your great explanation. I appreciate you all guys because you can explain the terms of post-colonialism clearly. I think we go to the next question. Mr. Sani, please go to the next slide. I think this question is still related with our previous session, where Mr. Aji said that we are still colonized because the China or the China or another countries. You said that we about regarding to the import and export activities between countries or multilateralism relationship among the countries, still having mercantilism, and also some of the countries still controlled, like Indonesia still controlled by the investment. We are depending on the investment. Okay, I will ask you to express your ideas regarding to this question. Are we still colonized? Please give your opinion. Mr. Hendro, perhaps? Mr. Hendro Priyono, do you want to explain your argument?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to, can you repeat your last question?
Are we still colonized? About the condition?
I have no idea.
If we still colonized, why? And can you give some examples why we still called as colonized country? Or we are unconsciously colonized because we use English right now, which is not our national language. Mr. Wait.
Mr. Hendro, please.
Hello, hello. I'm so sorry. I have to do the laundry right now. Yeah, I will be. I will just listen to all of you.
Okay, perhaps I'm first. Hey, can I?
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay, okay.
please, Mr. Haji. Floor is yours.
Uh,
Mr. Raji.
yes. I want to continue my previous statement that the country that has a debt or they have surplus holding the treasury debt, for example, denominated not in their own currency, they are still being colonized. Um, the fact when we look at the clear example before I'm talking internationally, I was not talking domestically first. uh, Government in its own currency, I mean, using its own currency, using its own denominated money, rupee in India, rupiah in Indonesia, dollar in US, each country can afford everything domestically, including unemployment, wasting labor, wasting resources. So the the simple analogy is when your father, you have a children, you need your home, your house clean, you need your car clean, you need your garden clean, for example. uh, you can pay the useless check, useless like yeah sorry useless check like this to your children. Hey, come on, just do whatever I want to comment to you. When they reject it, this is worthless paper, how could I use this one? It is worthless paper. Okay, I'm as a father, okay, I will obligate you to pay this card when you want to access my public facilities, when you want to watch television, when you want to using my laptop, when you want to using lamp for to recharge your handphone, you should pay this one to me. So automatically your worthless paper will be accepted. So it is being needed by your children. Do you have to know? Yes, I have. I have coffee. Oh, uh, by the way, it is same metaphor when we are going to understand the real economy. So principally, tax is creating unemployment. So government can afford to do provisioning system, for example, to create a job guarantee to all of the people that he wants, like me, my father. When they need my card, for example, to pay their access to use a lot of my facilities, I can, okay, you should work there, you should work there, you can work there, you can rebuild, you can planting some plantation in our garden, and I will pay my card, and then you can pay your card to me to pay the taxes. So, it's easy. That's the principle of macroeconomy. We don't need, for example, I don't need as a father to obtain another card to spend to my children. I can create the money out of thin air. It's same like a government. When we are talking, when we are talking about the government, creating the money out of thin air, just change the balance sheet, mark up the number in the balance sheet. When government want to spend the money to the private sectors, money, central bank just mark up the money in the receiver, in the someone that sold their goods and services to government. Just using keystroke, the computer in central banks. It's easy. But the fact is, we are having the trade-off. We are having the false economy, the false understanding of economy that printing the money or hiring a lot of people will cause inflation. So that's totally false at all. So maybe I will go to some exact example why uh, a lot of hyperinflation was happening in a lot of countries. Maybe when someone asks about that, I can tell it. But principally, it is because of uh, our paradigm in economic curriculum, in political curriculum, has been euphemized by the colonizer. So we are going still in the trap to be colonized. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Aji. Mr. Sani, you previously said that you disagree with Mr. Aji's statement do you want to explain more? A little bit more?
Okay. Even though I'd like to highlight that my statement is out of the topic, just try to be something certain about what has been said by Mr. Rajara. Exactly. Tax is not the thing that we should blame in regard to unemployment. Unemployment happened because the government is unable to manage to open some spaces to employ and equip to facilitate and also to accommodate all the things, social welfare, public facilities that we needed in a society. So, and when they fail to do this kind of applications or duties, it's crystal clear that there's something fishy happening inside the government. And that's why I can suspiciously say that inside corruption is the source of every doomsday, every small doomsday. I don't know. You can see clearly just how chaos the country we have right now. I don't know. But that's why I try to space myself, stay myself, find something that can calm my, some place that can calm my heart. Yeah, I think that's why. I don't know explanation. Maybe.
Can I give comment a little bit?
Okay, Mr. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sunny. Mr. Eka, do you want to? You said that I said correct. You want to explain more regarding to?
You comment to Mr. Sani first. Maybe you because
Okay, Raji, do you want to
Okay.
explain your argument? It's
Yes,
also
yes.
because Mr. Imran said that you disagree with the text.
Okay, like this. Tax, the function of tax, therefore, the first is tax drives the currency. When you have no taxation, your currency will, forever unacceptable in our society. So why the society using rupiah, for example, Indonesia? Because they need that currency, that tax credit, to pay their tax obligation. And the second is about redistributing the wealth. The third is supporting certain behavior. For example, when you have a business which is destroying our environment, I will tax you more than the others, and so on and so forth. But to the previous statement that tax, wait, from Mr. Sani, tax doesn't create unemployment, corruption does. Principally.
From Mr. Imran.
Oh yeah, principally, corruption is just a transfer of payment. Government doesn't need revenue. Government is not a household. So it just transfer payment. But the problem is the justice. Someone have unearned income, which is having more money than the other, which is working first, earning income, working first, and then they get income, but they have less. That's about the justice. Corruption is not restraining a country; it's just a transfer payment. But when most of people do the corruption, the problem is the transfer of money to the society is higher relative to the output that they have produced. It is able to causing inflation. It is able to cause inflation. That's a problem. Other than it is injustice to the income earners that should work first and then they get income. It's called unearned income. In all of the economic curriculum, it should be prohibited or erased because it is injustice. That's the point about currencies in country like a lot of developing countries, except 8 members. Maybe that's my little comment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aji. You said before that tax has a lot of positive impact to the countries and also for the society, especially for the particular thing, particular. Go to the question. We will um, previously we talk about the politics or the something which is colonized by another country, which is superpower. Now we talk about the film and written fiction that perhaps you already see, you already watched before. Do you have any ideas? Previously, I searched in some resources that um, Wakanda Wakanda film. I don't know what is the title of this film, but it's represent how the American wants to show themselves more powerful. That, that Africa, how what if Africa was not colonized by the British Empire, and they make us the imagination become like more technology and another, and also Avatar also. The Avatar talk about the film is, yeah, Black Panther, exactly. The Avatar is, it talk about an area which is colonized by, we can say, American or the West. Okay, do you have any idea regarding to film or nonfiction stories, or we can talk in Indonesia about the colonization? Please give your argument. Mr. Eka, do you want to explain your ideas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
thank you so much.
maybe I want to answer the question before the second question which you asked about are we still colonized or not? Yes or not, on why? I think I will answer with two part. First is about culture, economic, and politics situation, and then the second one is colonized by our own people. The first thing we see that Indonesian culture is all about Western or East Asia. We talk a lot of Japan culture, and we talk a lot about South Korean culture, and sometimes our old generation talk about Indian culture that really satisfy them in the way from the movie. And the other things, when we said about political things, we see that our country still implemented a Western system, which is like parliamentary or presidential system, or United States democracy system. I think we still colonized by the system. And the culture also, when we so happy, we so excited when we see the, how do you say, the star from for Hollywood, the star from South Korea, instead the star from our own countries. It seemed like they can make the market in our generation. It's also I think we still colonized by the new kind of colonialism. Maybe that your language is post colonialism. In the political situation like omnibus law, that we because we are civilized, but we are follow Netherlands system, that is civil law. Civil law doesn't know about omnibus law. Omnibus law is only known in Anglo-Saxon area, like Britain, like United States, etc., etc. But our country is just like wants to implement it here. And also like the system in presidential, when it comes presidential system, uh, they don't have fraksi, but in our parliament we have fraksi. How do you say fraksi in English? I don't know fraksi in English. It's fraksi is, I don't know why uh, we have fraksi. And also about parliament threshold or presidential threshold, when they say about don't waste people vote, but when your party can reach 4% of national vote, you can pass it to Senayan. It's waste the people vote, etc., etc. It's also, but it means that we still colonized by culture in East Asia, Japan and South Korea, and United States or Britain. And the politics system also, we so much influenced by American democracy. And the third one is economic. Economy is also because of Indonesian, and it's also related with my second part, uh, with with the global market. We still can produce in our own. We have Indonesian mobile, but I don't know what happened. And after that, because we still consume a lot of import things, and we still import a lot of goods, so we need global market. It also relate with second part, which we colonized by our own. Many of destruction of our environmental is lead by our own conglomerate. What is in English conglomerate? They own our forest. They mine our gold, our coal, and etc., etc. It means that because of our people still don't know about politics, our people don't know about how to participate in politics. They use the situation to their own good. So it means that maybe after this, we have so much task to do in the future for. And the third question is about any particular film or written fiction. I think it's a lot when they say that the movie that show how unity their role game in the world, when they are when Obama administration tried to undercover Ukrainian government, Libya government, Sudan government, and I forget, because a lot of government that Obama infiltrate the CIA and kudeta the government, like in Venezuela and Bolivia, something like that. So the movie show us that with no 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 censor, how United States plan to take off the ruler government in other world. And also it's if you want to watch like Fifth Estate, that tell us the story about Julian Assange, how he developed WikiLeaks, and how he how do you say it, like membongkar a lot of cases regarding to the politician in USA and how they plot how to kudeta the other government in the world. So I think it's from the movie that because America, I don't know how their democracy works. The movies a lot tell us about how they're actually agenda. They're not, and that's why I'm so happy why Trump is the president of the United States, because they just fighting each other in their domestic area. Because like just like Obama they fight the other world, they fight Ukraine, they fight Libya, Sudan, and then Yemen and something like that. But Trump don't care as long as you don't bother with American economy. So that's why China is now under trade war with USA, because the economy tension with United States. I think that's enough from me. Thank you, Binti Aisyah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eka, for your argumentation. Is between the political aspects that we talk about, we can still talk about the oh my god, what is that? We can still talk about the non-fiction film, because we I think the film is kind of what is that? Film is I think a kind of resistance, or they want kind of resistance from the post-colonial people, or post-colonial groups, that they want to try to defend themselves upon the colonizer, but they can't use certain power. They use the film or written fiction, like also in Indonesia, perhaps. Okay, for the next question, please, we will. The question is about the hegemony. Would you share your thoughts about hegemony as the result of post-colonialism, which or another parts of the world? This hegemony is like controlled by something which is more this the groups or countries. Okay. For another participants, perhaps Miss Wahyuni or Mr. Kudori, or Mr. Angga, perhaps, do you want to explain your argument? Or Mr. Chikoneng Ilir, please, do you want to, or perhaps, or not based on this question, you can, okay, yeah. I think it's not about this question. You can, in this section, you can explain your certain statement.
Cikoneng.
It's not.
Come on, Chikoneng.
Hello.
Yo.
Oh, Mr. Angga, come on, Mr.
Okay, Angga first.
Okay, I was away from keyboard. Sorry, because there is an event here in my area.
Yeah, Mr. Angga, please. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. If you are talking about post-colonialism, I think it is a continuation of colonialism era back then, more than half century ago. I think that we are still indeed in the colonialist era, but in the different phase. When in the colonialist era, the superpower country, they colonize underdeveloped country, developing country even, with the direct impact like war or even mercantilism, as I mentioned before. But nowadays we are colonized indirectly, I think, because the colonialists or imperialist country, they would like to try to search other ways to colonize many countries without even um, doing direct impacts, perhaps, if I could say, to the developing countries nowadays, like through economy, through debt, through music, through cultures, through movies, and so on and so forth, right? For the for the precise example, in 1990, the developing countries back then accept $44 billion official assessment from developed countries like US and many countries from Europe. However, in the same years, um, there were approximately $165 billion money is coming out from their countries as foreign debt payment to the um, superpower countries and their organizations like World Bank and so on and so forth. In the so in this condition, I just want to bring you guys how to overcome this problem. I think that the only way to overcome the problem is stopping, right? Uh, Stop the relationship with them. But yeah, indeed, we are going to have other problems affected by this action. Like they will inevitably embargo us, like what's happening in Venezuela, um, Bolivia, North Korea, and so on and so forth. The next question is, are we ready for that? I think that as long as we have the seriousness to address this problem, we are able to actually work together with other countries who have the same viewpoints with us. Yeah, it is our time actually as new generations in this condition, in this circumstance, to find a way out from this problem. In my viewpoint, I do believe that we should um, go out from this condition. Thank you. It is my next question for all of us.
Yeah, Mr. Aji, please give your opinion
Okay.
regarding.
Yes, continuing Angga's statement, I guess. After Mr. BK and Mr. Chikoneng and this okay, Tudori, and Mr. Entrepreneur, and Mr. Ismail, Mr. Imran, give comments. Okay, yes, of course, we should going out from this old system. We should do the de-dollarization, working together with a lot of countries that have the same interest with us. The fact when we got embargo from US, from English-speaking countries, it doesn't matter for us, especially Indonesia, because we have all of the resources that we need to fulfill all of our necessities today. The problem is how we can maximize, allocate, and also measure and process all of the resources that we have. The fact is, foreign direct investment, when you look at the data from the World Trade Organization, 3% of all of the financial flows in this world just for goods and services. The other 97% is just money speculation. So in the situation when we invite foreign direct investment to our country, to the sectors which is not export oriented, it's just going to crowding out our money. So okay, other than that, when we see the lesson from the German economic miracle back then, Germany in the German reparation was doing that. All of the debt that we are unable to pay won't be. We won't to pay it anymore. Even though you want to work with us, or it doesn't matter because I have strong industrial, heavy industry on military. I don't care whether the allies want to work with us. We don't want to pay the debt. Or a lot of options actually swapping the debt and canceling the debt. It doesn't matter. But the problem is the debt that won't be able to be paid won't be forever. So we should do clean slate in the lesson in the past. So we should work together, of course. I do agree with Mr. Angga. Build up our country based on our own, I mean, internal situation, not from external, from imposition from IMF and like those organizations that only sucking up our natural resources, extracting, exploiting our workers, and there is always a deflation. So I do agree with Angga totally.
Okay, thank you,
Hello.
Mr. Aj. Yeah. Anyone who wants to add some arguments?
Can I just a little bit?
Mr. Hendro Priyono, please. The floor is yours.
Oh, okay.
Is it my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, actually, I have a question. Yeah, because I'm a little bit confused here. Yeah, we know that we are really in severe condition, and then Mr. Angga and Mr. Aji also have mentioned that we had to overcome this situation together. So I don't want to beat around the bush here, and just want to ask this to Mr. Aji or Mr. Angga or everyone that can answer this question, because we have I think there's a lot of people out there also that have done a lot of things in order to overcome our problem in our country here. So what is the realistic solution that actually we can do as a, what is that, as a person here, that what is that, perhaps we can contribute to society, because no matter what kind of discussion that we are going to do, I think we need solution also. We need solution and we need a way to do that. So I just want to know a realistic discussion, because I'm a little bit broken heart here, because there were a lot of movement, but it failed. Okay, so that's why, is there anyone here can give me a realistic way to do that? Because I have talked about this also with Mr. Aji several days ago, and then yeah, come on, anyone here? Perhaps Mr.
Maybe
Angga or Mr.
before we going to mention our direct solution, maybe you can do your or you can share your few points first, Mr.
No.
Hendro Priyono.
I'm really confused about it, because I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless. It's kind of sad to listen all of the things here. It's not because it's really bad emotion that you bring to us today, but it's happened. It happened, and we are in hot water right now. So it's just like we have to wait for the things that will happen to us here, to our what's that, to our descendants later. So I think, okay, or if you want to save this, I mean the answer of this question later is okay. I just want to mention that. Thank you very much.
Can I?
After this,
Mr. Aji.
me.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Aji, please,
Okay,
the
okay.
floor is yours.
Okay. As a person, to do button consolidation is hard. Of course, it still need a process. But for me as an economist, I can do challenge all of the faults of economic curriculum here in Indonesia. So when we see the the story of why monetarism now is applied in entire of the world, even though the left is totally misunderstanding about economy itself. It needs gradual time, around 40 years, to be, put the monetarism as a global paradigm of economy. In the same with I call now post-Keynesian economists of MT, I should challenge the existing of the policymakers that apply monetarism, and also for the lot of professors in Indonesia, especially through a lot of discussion, of course, a lot of works, writing, and so forth. So it is how do we can maybe, for example, change their paradigm, and when they want to interested, they can share their opinion because they're famous enough and spread it to the society, and society will understand. But the problem is it's just inflection. Of course, revolution needs gradual time. But me as an economist, for minimum, challenging the existing false understanding is the first time that we can do first. Even monetarism did the same thing back then. And for that, we should spread what is our idea today to repair our country from from the hand of oligarchies and the globals, whatever we want to say about that. We should be the determinists in this situation, because without we have a consistencies, the change is possible. Like Angga said a few times ago, when we believe that the problem is hard to be done, it's hard to be fixed, we are part of the problem, not part of the solution. Thank you. We just saw.
Thank you, Mr. Aji. Actually, talk about Mr. Angga previous statement, or Mr. Hendro Priyono said before, or Mr. Tama said before. What is our realistic? What is our realistic movement? No, not movement. Action that we have to release from this kind of colonialism, soft power of colonialism. Because right now we are using English as the international language, which is learned or spoken by more than 1.3 billion of people, population in the world. And if we cover our country from another side of the world, like Korea, North Korea, what will we do? Like, do you have any argument, or you can give some practical action that we have to release from this kind of post-colonialism or soft power? Yeah, Mr. Cikoneng Ilir. After that, Mr. Angga, please. After Mr. Cikoneng.
Um, I'm I'm sorry because I'm late for this discussion and I don't understand from the first until this time. But regarding to my opinion about the hegemony, when we talk about hegemony, there are two kinds of hegemony. The first is the international hegemony. I think that can be involved, such as investors, the big capital in the international activities. And the second is the local hegemony that we that we should solve that problem. And the both of them, it is the problem from our countries that we as the youth generation should be understand about it. The first, the international hegemony. When we talk about our system, Indonesia has a system in the political will, especially for international politics, is like the bebas and active in the diplomatic. It is will the pros from this system, we can make the association with whatever the country that will make the agreement with us. But unfortunately, in the other hand, when they will take the hegemony in our country, we cannot prevent it. For example, Indonesia has the agreement with China, and Indonesia also has the agreement with America. So in the international council, Indonesia cannot to determine to give the support the one of them. Indonesia will accept all of them, especially from the agreement, because when they broke one side and the other side will determine the hegemony in our country. And it is different when we talk about the North Korea, Iran, how Iran can survive to in the condition when the America give the punishment like a sanction, because Iran has the one ties with the Russia and their allies. It is the reason why Iran can survive to solve that problem in the sanction from the USA. And in the other hand, based on our history, why the Indonesia take the active and the free will in the international politics, because Indonesia is the one country that make the or the declare of the KTT, Konvensi, what's that? KA, Konvensi Afrika and Asia. And one of the declare is our president, Mr. Sukarno. And when we talk about the local hegemony, it is can involve in our legislative member that we are we have a chance today, especially for the controversial bill, undang-undang cilaka, or what's that? Uh, Kemenaker. Omnibus law. I mean, this is the hegemony that we should. It is like the agreement in the legislative member, and I don't know what is the function of DPD in our legislative member, because DPD is the one legislative member that should overcome or give the solution based on their territorial or their region. And the leader at the legislative member is so full. There are the 10 of leader in the legislative members. If I will give the solution in my perspective, we can put the leader as the MPR is from DPD, because they will representative from their territory. And the second, for the vice of the chief of DPR, we can give it to the DPR. So DPD has a function to give their opinion about their region. Because in the other hand, some activists or the professionalism said the ICW more better than DPD. How could it be? ICW as the communities that always watch the corruption in Indonesia, it will be give the more function than DPD. It is the first thing that we should change the political will in the Indonesia. It is like when you have a cake, so you will give it to who be the winner at the legislative election every single years in Indonesia. So when we continue to do this kind, so it will be difficult. And the second is about our system. What is the system that Indonesia utilize? It is the federal system, or it is the unity nation or kesatuan system. Because when we talk about when we talk about federal, there are the money developed country using this system, and they will the good country such as the Australia, Selandia Baru, and America too. Indonesia using the kesatuan, but unfortunately, the political will or the keadaan, the fact is like federal. We manage like the international politics for us the federal system, it, the centralism is more powerful than the regional territory. It's kind of the Indonesia. Indonesia in the central can manage international politics, security, defense, and macro and micro. It is the similarity, but we denounce or we proclaim we are kesatuan. So that's why Minangkabau in the previous days before, he said they will change their their province not be Sumatra Barat but Minangkabau. It is the kind we can shoot deliberation there. Uh, if and the second is perpu. Perpu is like the I don't know how I call perpu in the English, but perpu is the something we needed when we got the trouble for the lawmaking in the legislative bill or the provision. So sometimes I'm so sorry. Mr. President give the perpu that for something that is unnecessary or unimportant in the social living. For example, perpu ormas. It is when when we have a trouble in to 212. So the president gave the perpu ormas. They will remove the organization Islamic organizations such as HTI in the Indonesian territorial. But there is not the demonstration that they will remove the HTI. But today, in omnibus law, the president and his life, especially government, they still continue to one will not give the purpose to solve that problem. That is my point of view regarding about the hegemony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chikoneng Ilir. Mr. Angga, do you want to give some additional argumentation
Yes, 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 a little bit, please.
under the post-colonialism topic?
Well, to kick off, I would like to mention John Percy's
Mr. Angga,
statement.
I think Mr. Angga is away from.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Mm.
Oh, okay, sorry. I just wanna kick off by saying John Percy's statements. The big picture might seem too hard to tackle. The overall problem of capitalism or post-colonialism might seem too difficult to overcome. But just by saying that, you've made a partial peace with capitalism. Why I'm saying this? Because when we see our vanguard people in the colonialism era, like Sukarno, Hatta, Tan Malaka, Semaun, and so on, when they when they were surrendered to um, defeat the colonialism, I think that we are not in the independent era nowadays. I think it is the same as us today. When we would like to move on to this system, I think we should have high intentions, high motivation to move from this condition. What the specific action that we can do? The first one is, I think, it's like this: by discussing a pivotal issue like this, it is like the first step to move forward. Why I'm saying this? Because by just discussing the problem, we will find the next step to move from our condition nowadays. You know what? The vanguard people like Sukarno and Hatta back then, they started from the discussion also, and then they built organization. they built movement, they built rally to voice themselves, right? That's why it is firstly important step to do by only justice movement. And furthermore, I think that when we would like to move on to the post-colonialism era, especially Indonesia, firstly, governments, in my viewpoint, should nationalize our big companies, and we can use it for our own advantages. You know, as far as I'm concerned, there are more than 50% big companies of Indonesia controlled by other countries. And you know what? The wealth of the companies is coming out to them also. Therefore, in my opinion, when we would like to move on to this post-colonialism, it is very pivotal to nationalize our big industries in Indonesia. Secondly, in my opinion, conducting the agrarian reform is pivotal also to make our farmers, to make our societies wealthier than before, because they produce their own lands to their own prosperity. I think it is very important. But based on the experience got by Sukarno, for example, he once built, how do we call it, Asia Africa Conference, right? He would like to draw the line, the demarcation line between superpower countries, which were imperialist countries, and new emerging forces, which were newly independent countries. But back then, as far as I'm concerned, he got many attempted murders just because of attacking superpowering countries. From the lesson, I think the movements of people in Indonesia and other developing countries should be increased by themselves to support this kind of idea, like what's happening, like what has happened to Venezuela, Bolivia, and so on. I think it's very important to draw demarcation line between colonizers and new emerging forces. In addition, as far as I'm concerned, also mostly developing countries, they have the rest of colonialisms, even in their surrounding society, like their own society, for example. As Trotsky mentioned in the Permanent Revolution, developing countries basically have their own ruling class, oppressor, how to say penindas, yeah, because the emerging of the ruling class in the developing countries, they emerge by the colonialists. That's why they are too difficult to be independent. Hence, to be independent, it is very pivotal to be established by the oppressed people, like students, workers, peasants, and so on and so forth. And when you ask me, the first concrete step, specific step to do our movement is just by discussing like this, to absorb the problem. Because without knowing the problem, we don't have any solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Angga, for your great recommendation to you said before that this kind of discussion is like emerging the awareness of people about the post-colonialism. I think
Indeed.
if you talk about the idea beside of discussion. After discussion, like the government, for example, like the government, they not the government, but the DPR, they want to make UU bill. They gather person from the academicians. They develop the arguments from another people to discuss something. After that, they make some articles or books that can be spreaded for to another people. Like this, if we want to make more realistic action beside of discussion, we can release some articles in OTA or in the website, or in, like you said, in YouTube also we publish to make to raise the awareness of people. Okay, I think we go to the next question. It's okay. The fifth question is the positive impacts of post-colonialism outweigh those the negative impacts? Why? And give some examples. Do you guys find any positive impacts from post-colonialism or the colonialism itself? I always imagine that Indonesia sometimes Indonesia was not colonized by the Netherlands. What will we be in the future?
There
Now
is
you
no
can
Indonesia.
now you can directly point out some audiences here that doesn't speak up yet.
Yes, Mr. Aji, do you want to give some explanation?
No, I wanna choose Mr. Kudari first.
Mr. Panjaitan.
Okay, Mr. Kudari, please.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Mr. Panjaitan need to
Kudari.
talk. Yeah, but now, yeah, Mr. Khodari.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know about the topic, but I try to make illustration about are we still being colonized? Yeah, perhaps make sure that when there is brand, the owner offers to us, like YouTuber, they offers the content freely, but when the consumer has been trapped by the owner, I mean the YouTuber, they will watch the content because the customer is addicted about the content. The owner of the brand will give premium, or will give, we have to pay. So we might as well, for the customer, because we are addicted with the content, we have to watch the content. So is it colonized or no? Yeah, that I know about colonized like this. Maybe. Mr. Raji, is it colonized? When we watch the content, the first time we got freely, but we might as well, because we have been addicted by the content. So the YouTuber will give the price. So we have to pay with the data. Yeah, that's it. What I have shared. Is it
Mr.
colonized?
Kudari, perhaps you can mention the examples of the person or the YouTuber.
Yeah, for the example, we have been addicted by the Tata Hatta Halilintar's content. Yeah, the first time we got freely, but we don't know for the first time because we like his content. So day by day, because the subscribers are so many, so of course the YouTuber will give the price, or will make the premium to pay it, because the YouTuber needs income. So for the customer, because we have been trapped by the content, because the content is so how is that, so interested in watching. Yeah, we might as well, we have to watch it by, I mean, we have to watch it with paying. Yeah, is it colonized, or I don't know.
Sucking up the wealth, siphoning the wealth.
Someone wants to answer Mr. Kudari's question, or are we are colonized by the by something that makes us addicted to?
Yeah, even colonization is not only in material way, right? Sometimes it comes to our mind and something like that. But maybe I just want to give the opportunity uh, to Mr. Rio first, and then Mr. Ahmad Siswaji.
Yes, Mr. Rio or Mr. Aji, you want to? I think Mr. Aji and Mr. Yuni. Okay, Ms. Yuni, are you still there?
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
uh,
Ms. Yuni, please
okay.
give your.
Okay, I'll give my point of view regarding this 5 question. Okay, in my view that everything, including the colonialism, has positive and negative impact because but I think that it is only the added value of the thing that like a colonialism, but the most important one that we have to make like creating our own value from this problem. I mean, like we can't judge, we can't uh, determine the impacts of something by only their harmful or detrimental impact or positive impact, but also we need to take a deep uh, uh, take a deep consideration with ourselves that can we make it as a positive impact, or can we creating our value over here so we can decide that is it a positive or negative for us. I mean, like we can't deny that this one have several negative impacts, like the influence of capitalism, the influence of how our human research or how labor or how regulations are impacted by them. But also we need to consider regarding the positive one, like how they teach us some informations, some knowledge, like how like the technology, like the innovations. So what I want to say that when I said that this is I mean, like the post colonialism is too long. It's about it's more than 70 years ago. So it's okay, it's still really fun to talking about the to talk about this one, but the most important one that we need to, I mean, like we need to take the point that how how um how we as a descendant, I mean, like as a offering of these informations can creating our own value. I mean, like how we take this one as not only as a problems but also the solutions. Okay, I think that's all from me. I mean, I think it's not really clear from my explanation, since I'm not really into this topic as I mentioned earlier. But hopefully you can take my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wahyuni, for your argumentation. I think because we are entering the final session of this discussion, okay, I will give some closing statement, like the overview of the overall of our discussion. Even though this topic is very old, uh, to discuss, but it's still related until now because we are still, like the second question before, we are still colonized, but by the soft power of another countries. And how we can deal with this situation, like you guys said before, that we have to raise our action. We have to more. Uh, we have to. We have to more realize that uh, the post-colonialism still exists until now, and by using some defense or to another the countries that are more powerful than us. Okay, because we are going to the last session. This is the topics that I present to you. Thank you guys for your nice discussion. I hope it's not only for now, but it can be impacted for the next in the future. Thank you so much. Good night and see you tomorrow. No, tomorrow, next week.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for your attendance, and we would like to give you a short vocabulary list that I want to announce. Yeah, so based on the discussions, I can catch several phrases and also words that I want to introduce you with that. First thing first is principle. Yeah, Brother Ajis say that principle and interest means model awal dan bunga. Yeah, interest means bunga. Principle is not only it's not only fundamental, it's not only primary things, but it can also means the very first capital we have and put in the bank. And next one is welfare. It means kesejahteraan. To access, it means menghubungkan. Okay, some other people like to say accessibility. Yeah. Okay, so next one is elicit. To elicit, it means to mendatangkan, memperoleh. Yeah, it's also similarized with acquire, obtain, gain. Yeah, something like that. And then mentality. Yeah, since we talk about post-colonialism, is very strongly related to mentality, how we can, control our mental. Next one, obligate, or we can say like oblige. Yeah, iso impose, it means mewajibkan atau wajib. Faction, fraksi, ya. Jadi bahasa Inggrisnya bukan fraction ya, karena itu fraksi langsung fraction enggak ya, tapi faction. Okay. Next one will be conglomerate. Sometimes we do not realize that we use English language in Indonesia or in Bahasa. Conglomerate is from conglomerate. Okay. And also kudeta ya, kudeta is also take kudeta ya. Kalau kita lihat memang menyerapnya juga nggak terlalu jauh. Kemudian yang terakhir, last but not least, force open, membongkar. Ya, tadi ya, I also sort of adding some, meanings like unveil, unmask, unlock, but the true one that can, express the word completely is like force open, break in, demolish, wrecking ball, wreck. It also means membongkar. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for your attendance. I'm so happy to come in the house, even though, around me just so crowded, and that's why I try to find somewhere that nicer and calmer to close our meeting tonight. And thank you. Have a happy weekend. But before that, let's try to take pictures together. Come on, show up, guys. Let me see your bright faces. Not faces, yeah, faces. Okay. Okay, everyone, let me see. Brother Aji, would you like to take our picture together? Come on, guys, open your damn face. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay, Mr.
unshare your
Panjaitan,
screen.
would you like to?
Hey, unshare your screen, you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. This one.
Serangga, Miss Wahyuni,
Okay, what?
and our excellences,
Tangga.
Mr. Luhut. Mr. Luhut, please appreciate Mr. Luhut.
Salute.
He is our ancestor. Without him, maybe our ties will be disappear.
Mr.
Without him. Okay, you can take the picture, Mr. Sani. Got it.
Okay, so okay, you guys ready? Wait, I'd like to screen capture by using my photoscape. Wait. Okay, now, are you guys ready?
Yeah, ready.
Come on the count of three. 3, 2, 1. Okay,
Wait.
next one. Number.
Oh,
We're counting.
I want to write down Tolak Omnibus Law, but
Okay.
you know, it's kind of okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, next one, guys.
I'm ready.
Okay, next time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, and the last we say yesterday, we say tomorrow.
Ota.
Yeah, thank you so
Ota,
much.
wait. Yeah. See you next time.
There's a most